Yes, boys, welcome back to the reaction channel. Yes, first upload in a while, I know. But today we'll be reacting to 4 True Walmart Horror Stories, animated by Dark Knight Animations. Make sure you guys subscribe. Like, it's got 54k and a bunch of comments. Let's do this.
This is something that I witnessed a few days ago.
Let me go full screen. I'm a dumbass.
When I was out for taking some groceries.
Okay.
It can't be considered a crime, but one thing that I know was that
Why would it be considered a crime when you're going off groceries? Okay.
what that strange person was doing was wrong, and he deserved this. Though sometimes I feel that incident can risk me also, but being a girl, I couldn't just sit around and watch someone do something like that to another girl. So let me tell you about the story from roots, and decide for yourself whether what I did was right or not. And this question is especially for girls.
Stop watching, boys.
My name is Alicia,
Even
and
though
I am
I'm
a
one.
student currently pursuing my graduation. I live in a small town in
Okay.
California. My family included me, my father, who was an officer in the Californian Army and was mostly on the borderline, my little and sweet brother, and the world's best mother. I was the eldest sibling in my family, so it was obvious that I had to do most of the work at my home, including kitchen chores and shopping also. But since Walmart was in the 4th block from my home, so it was not a hard task, and it was better than working with my mother in the kitchen. It was not like I didn't want to help her, but the thing was that I had no interest in kitchen chores. Instead, I liked playing video games, watching TV, and...
Okay. So she's a girl gamer. Alright. So basically, good for you. Be honest, I hate cleaning as well, so I assume some women hate cleaning as well. That is completely fine. Let's go.
and roaming here and there with other boys. I know you are all thinking that my likings didn't include any girlish things, but
Yeah.
This is what I like.
Sexism.
One specific day, my mother asked me to help her with the kitchen chores. I was planning.
I just got added on. Are you serious?
Friends who my mother never liked a bit, but I couldn't reject her orders. So I went to the kitchen and started helping her in preparing for lunch.
Good job.
Suddenly, she realized that the stock for the spices was almost gone.
Kitty litter.
She asked me to leave
Kitty
all
litter.
this and go
Who
and
buys? What? That cow in that thing looks there dead. The salt is tiny. It's the size of my we have the kitty litter. Yet again, the size of my
along with other groceries. That was exactly what I wanted to hear.
Good job.
I stood up in a hurry and took the money for the shopping and
wait. How much is that? I need to remind. Peaches intrigued.
And took them.
Oh, it's a hottie. She gave you $100.
Money for the shopping.
Oh my god!
Ran from there as
run with that money.
Like all typical mothers, she shouted behind me to come back soon and not hang out with my friends. I was finally out, so I began to walk toward Walmart. I went there and took all the things my mother had listed down on a piece of paper. But before returning,
I thought that money was for yourself. My bad. Gucci bag.
Back, I decided to grab an ice cream. So I went to the nearby vendor and took my favorite one. I sat there on a bench and placed my grocery bags
That's not a grocery bag, bro. That's a Gucci bag.
Beside me. I was eating my ice cream.
What ice cream is that? Bro, it's shaped like a watermelon.
While looking here and there. Suddenly, I noticed a strange guy taking photos. The strange thing about him was that he was taking photos while hiding his phone under his jacket.
It's not illegal. You can't take photos with without people's consent. I thought that was illegal. Hold on. Can you take photos of people without their consent? I don't know how to spell consent. There we go. Here we go, let's read this. It is generated purposefully for people to take photographs at any public place or any private place that they own or rent. Being present on someone else's private property generally requires the property owner's consent to take photos. Okay, so it is illegal. So you should take his ass to jail.
I was wondering what he was capturing in his phone, so I looked in the direction.
Unless he's taking photos of himself. So you don't even know that. Although he's kind of hiding it in his jacket. But at the same time, he could be taking big photos of his chest. What if he's a bodybuilder YouTuber? It's just like, yeah, I want to take a picture of my chest, my left chest, to see what people think of my improvement.
Direction he was facing, and I watched a beautiful girl of about 16 wearing a really pretty dress that was black down the sides and white in the center, accompanied by her mom. She was sitting on the first floor while hanging her legs down the glass pans. That was something made for providing a look.
Wait, is that a man or a woman? Jeez, that man's got bunda.
Luxurious look to Walmart, but people use that place to sit and take photos. Her clothes looked a little odd to me, and the most surprising thing was that even though her mother didn't notice that, I guess that they might have been after nylons or something, since she was wearing a formal, and it was not a prom night, but at Walmart. I was still sitting there looking at that girl and her mother while licking my ice cream. I was watching them as the bright sunlight was passing through her clothes. I was shocked to see that in the sunlight, the center white panels of her dress disappeared. Her insides were clearly visible in the bright sunlight as she wasn't wearing a bra. And even
Wash! Who doesn't wear a bra when you're that age? Bro, what if it slips out? You know what I'm saying? What if you're jogging? This is the problem. What if a woman's jogging? Okay, what if it gets too hot, for example? What if it gets too hot? Oh, just get naked. No, you weirdo.
panties were clearly visible. I understood
Why is she looking at her panties as well? She's kind of a simp.
everything, that why that strange person was taking photos secretly. I thought to confront that man directly, but I had no proof. So I got up and went to the first floor to that girl. I went there and stood in front of her as I was trying my best to block the strange man's camera view. She looked at me and asked, "Do I know you?" I smiled at her and said, "Pardon me, normally I don't bother strangers, but do you know that when your beautiful daughter was sitting in the bright sun, her dress became invisible in the white areas?" The woman looked concerned, and the daughter looked at me and said, "It does not." I just smiled at her and said, "Then how do you suppose I would know you were wearing burgundy-colored G-string panties?" Also, I told her that her breasts and nipples were almost visible in the shining light. The girl's face went white, and her mother took her back into the
Okay. I'm gonna get demonetized now. I have to beep that out. Why?
store with a cloth around her to get her a shawl or wrap to wear over it. After that, they came to me and thanked me for telling them about this. But the real fun was about to start. After I told them about the strange guy who was capturing her photos while asking them not to glare at him, as he could flee if he
Add it on again!
knew about his intentions.
We're
All
back
three of
again.
us discussed a plan, and her daughter sat there in the same position, while her mother went and gathered some other women and girls and attacked that strange man. She snatched his phone and beat him properly. After this, the security guard came running and fed him the rest punches and kicks after knowing the truth. They also called the cops and handed him over to them. While the cops were taking him, he was staring at me with deadly eyes, but it was not like I cared about him that much. He got what he deserved, and I did what I thought was right. After this, the girl and her mother thanked me again, and everyone there clapped for me for my courage. I was lost in it when I realized that my mother had asked me to come back soon. I took my bag and ran toward home.
She didn't give a specific time though. You could have came at, let's say you went out at 1 p.m. and she said, "Come soon." Soon does that mean anything? Bro, you could stay there for about 5 hours. Soon.
Fast as I could. I knew that a bunch of scolding and lecturing was waiting for me, but there was nothing I could do, as this was something that I deserved.
Interesting.
Hey guys, thanks so much for all the support.
No problem.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet,
I have. Look. Subscribe.
please feel free to do so. I was 5 when this happened.
By the way, this is the last story I'm reacting to. I know there's 4, but we'll do half of them.
I don't recall things in very details, But as I grew up, I realized
That is not him. That's
happened. I don't recall things in very details.
to that.
As I grew up, I realized that things were a lot scarier than I imagined them to be. The story started with my parents going out to the Walmart to shop for the new house
That's your parents. Okay.
recently bought. They had heard the story before, but then it happened to them, and it was all too overwhelming for them. And my parents, I don't think, still have recovered from the trauma of what happened to them there. My parents were very young when they got married. My mother was 20 and my father 26.
26. Okay. 20 to 26. Married at 20. I couldn't be arse marrying at 20. Bro, that's your life gone. You have to be with that woman for the rest of your life unless you divorce her. That's going to take a lot of paperwork, bro. Don't.
They had me.
Actually, do what you want, but I wouldn't do that.
Later.
Look at that trim.
My father got an offer from the better.
That's a good hairstyle, you know.
Working place, but
why am I keep pausing it? It's by accident.
In that period, she agreed to moving.
Wait, what? What did they say?
To a new area. It was.
Please don't tell me I have to bleep out another thing.
It was a new place, and new place brought in new adventures.
Oh my god!
The thing is, both of my parents were journalists, and they had a.
Look at these rich wealth. Look how big that house is, broski. That's nearly bigger than my house.
New adventures.
And they have a big ass camera. Lucky ass bitch.
Both of my parents were journalists, and they had a really good sense of everything. And parenting was something that they were really stoked about, because between them both, they thought that they could train me to be some prodigal genius the world was been waiting for ever since Einstein. So the first few years of my life were very crucial for them.
I thought this was the father. Why is he Why does he look exactly like his father?
A slight remembrance of the fact that some of my toys were so technical and had some sort of mathematics involved in order to play with them. They said it was better for me. The more active my temporal lobe or something like that will be, the better I will be with education and stuff. And that is where the things got interesting. They were too psyched about making my life such perfection that it could be the one of a genius. They were too busy in creating things for me that made no sense to me as a child. And then the incident that made me understand that they were doing too much was when they realized that they messed up the simple thing. They were doing a Walmart run for the new house, and they took me with them and decided to put me in the stroller and roam around the store to get the things they needed. And they said they will split in ways to cover more area and get done with the thing as soon as they can, because they had a really strict schedule for everything I did. They put everything on strict time for me. But the good thing was that I was unaware of whatever was going on during that period. My mother said, "You took care of him, I'm going to check the wood aisle." My father said, "I'm going."
Why is she taking out the wood aisle? Don't you think that's kind of sus? As he is young, so why did you get married to her?
To check out the bed.
And now he's checking out the bed.
All that, they forgot that I was there, and they both went their way.
No way. This is such bad parents. They're walking away from their child, and they're like, look at this man. He looks so suspicious with his bunda.
Forgetting and thinking that I am with the other, and they went
Add it on again. Are you serious?
Went on with their business, and it wasn't until half an hour when they met at the same aisle, realizing that I am not with either of them. They looked at each other with panic and rushed to the place where they left me, and they saw the stroller. At first they saw the stroller and they were relieved that I was safe, but then when they got near, they realized the stroller was empty. I was not in it. That meant only one thing, that I had been probably taken away. And they decided to call in the people at Walmart to announce. And then they announced that I was kidnapped and the store was shut down. And the guy was sent to the security to check in on the camera, and they found nothing in. But then, right at the time they saw that I was being picked up by an old white lady and she headed down to the back alley, and there was no sign of her in the store, it meant she left. They made no delay in calling the police. The police came in and took the image from the camera, but they were not really the quality images that you can process and put an APB on. They were worried and had no idea where I was and how they could possibly find me.
Oh, no.
They had to go through the horror of their child being taken away.
Okay, story time. So this obviously didn't happen in Walmart because I'm not American, but it happened in Tesco's. So I wasn't in it. My sister was. Sorry of her. So basically, we're at shut up, yeah. So basically, we're at Tesco's. Right, walking away, and we see. So there's obviously a mall in my area. So we went to the mall. We're like, okay, we're going to Tesco's. My sister went to the toy shop right next door, and she just tried to find us. And she was in the very back aisle of Tesco's where we were looking at the toy shop. And then we called like the Tesco people, not to call the Tesco people, but we did exactly what they did. They made like an announcement like, this is a girl with curly brown hair and all this stuff. They're all like panicking. I was panicking for the first time in my life, and I'll never do that again. I want her to the message. But anyway, she's always like, and then we saw her outside of Tesco's running away from somebody. Obviously, she thought she got kidnapped or something. I don't even know. But anyway, I want to know her POV. I don't know what her POV was. I told her what was a POV. She said she didn't remember. So, yeah, just some story time for you guys.
Away from them in the middle of the world. A day went by, and there was no information about me, and my parents were now thinking of pleading on national television. But then they got a cold call of my kidnapping, and that they need some money in place of the kid. The police cornered the call to be a lie and told my parents there was no legit information about my kidnapping. 5 days, there was no clue. Neither the police had any clue, and it was almost as if I had disappeared from the place. Though the police said that it is tough to trace my steps since I was long gone from the place, and there was a good chance that I would not be found. They were just preparing my parents with the worst that could come, and as it did, they were ready to almost give up, but my mother was not. She was a mathematician and was into probability, and she calculated weirdly something of a route, studying up the cases and calculated a probable scenario to find me, and according to her calculations, the info of my missing was spread through the Walmarts, and then the same setup was done on an undercover mission in New Mexico, where they planted a camera in the stroller in Walmart of New Mexico, and the thing that happened to be there, my mother calculated the pattern. It was the whole gang of these infant stealers. They were caught, and after the intense interrogation and searches, they found me, right on the American-Canadian border. I was all right, and there were no signs of damage. My parents...
Emotionless crying. Look at this.
Won't stop crying, and since then...
Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry, but would you think to animate like her eyes closing and opening again? Because that's what happens when you cry.
Then, they have been overly protective of me. They found me 15 days after my initial missing.
15 days? That's 2 weeks and 1 day. Are you serious? Bro, I thought you were gone for like a year.
And luckily, right in time. For if I would have transported in Canada, chances of finding me would have almost disappeared. Since then, they just stopped thinking of everything and became a very hands-on parents and overly protective. As far as Walmart goes, I don't think my parents have entered a Walmart ever since I went missing.
That is the end of the reaction. Make sure you guys subscribe to Dark Knight Animations, and make sure you guys hopefully subscribe to me. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.